Howdy there folks, this is Lapidary Dave, and right now I want to share with you folks how I remove these pieces of turquoise using some warm water. In the past, I put stones that I dopped using green dopping wax inside of the freezer overnight, and then popped them off with like a butter knife or something. This works really well. I don't know how well it works with black and red dopping wax, but with the green wax it works pretty nicely. In the past, I actually got some of my turquoise pieces too cold and they cracked. I put a big bag full of turquoise outside in the wintertime and buried it with snow because my freezer wasn't getting cold enough. And the next morning I found a lot of my pieces broke. I believe it's because they might have been porous or whatnot or have little spots, and it actually got too cold, making the stones crack. So I looked online and I saw that you can easily just warm up the dopping sticks using some warm water, and they come off pretty nicely using the warm water. But it's a lot less common using the warm water than it is for me using the low temperatures. After I heat up the water, I kind of just peel them off. Not all of them want to come off clean. Sometimes different stones, I guess, are getting heat up differently, and the wax will want to stick to the back of the stone, which isn't a big deal. I always just take a little knife or something and I scrape off the excess wax. If it's really stubborn, I'll put the piece back into the water and let it heat up again before I try to scrape them off. I usually put about 10 pieces in any kind of container of water to work at a time. That's about as many as I can get off without the water getting cooled down enough to where the wax isn't malleable. I don't know how hot I should really be making the water. In this video, I believe I used a stovetop, but I also use an electric kettle to heat up water, which I assume gets a little bit less as hot as boiling water on the stove. Sometimes the pieces come off really clean. Sometimes I'll dop a piece and it won't want to come off all the way. I won't try to force it because I don't want to break a piece of turquoise, but I'll just get it off as much as I can comfortably and safely, and then I'll just put it back in the water and let it heat up a little bit more. The water isn't hot enough to burn my hands, but the stones sure get hot enough to become uncomfortable, so I try to work fast, but not too fast to where I'd hurt myself. One can easily remove the rest of the dopping wax that they didn't get with the knife using like a jewelry buffer or whatnot, whatever you polish your stone with. I find that my little Red Wing dental lathe easily laps up all of the wax that I left behind from not scraping it off. It just gets it really hot and the wheel takes it away. Because of this, I've been switching out to a different buffing wheel dedicated to removing wax off the back of my dops. It takes all the wax off and leaves a bit of a polish. It's pretty nice. I'm not sure how many pieces I had here, maybe about 30 or so pieces. It was a lot of fun dopping these up in that video for you folks. I'm not sure if this method of removing dopping wax is effective with the black and red waxes. I'm also not sure if the black and red waxes can go into the freezer either. I hear that some folks actually put their dopping wax inside of a solvent that eats up the wax. That's a pretty good idea for stubborn pieces. I've never had to do that, but I could see it being effective. I had a good friend of mine mention that you can actually use wood glue as dopping wax. Instead of dopping wax, and then put it inside of warm water in a similar fashion as this, and then the wax will get all eaten up, dissolve, and you can take your stone right off of the dop. I'll be giving this a shot and making another video of dopping using wood glue, but that's a great idea, I think. I hear that there's a gentleman named Greg King who also does that method with wood glue. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it's helpful to someone out there. Maybe you have a few pieces that are dopped that you didn't know what to do with floating around the house, and you can take them off using either low temperatures or high temperatures. As you'll see in this video, it's not always 100% effective. I did have 2 little pieces get damaged, maybe from roughing up against each other inside of a box, or maybe because they're not the highest quality. But they lost little pieces onto the dopping stick when I was removing the stone. Also, maybe the wax didn't get warm enough and decided to take a little piece of the stone with it. Either way, again, I hope this is helpful. Until next time, this is Lapidary Dave. See you soon.